Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on Oracle Field Service, presented by SoftClouds. I'm Brian Friedman, GVP of Sales at SoftClouds, and today look forward to walking you through what Oracle Field Service is, how it works, and ultimately how it could benefit you and your company. So first, let's start with a brief intro of Oracle Field Service, what it is, how it works. Field service is a platform used by workers who visit a customer's site. And really what field service does is it enables a company to be much more proactive in how they manage their remote workers and also provide a better experience for those remote workers as well as the customers themselves. So services that can be utilized by a field service application are things like installation, repairs, maintenance of equipment, servicing, regular maintenance checks, and even compliance checks. For example, if we're needing to do annual compliance checks and submit to different governmental agencies. So what the field service management application does is it enables you to have all of these operations in one place, to keep track of them, to make sure that things are done properly, and ultimately to provide a better experience in terms of tracking, monitoring, and making sure that the technician is properly performing their duties. So when we look at a field service application, it consists of a number of different elements. For example, fleet tracking, inventory tracking and management, quicker invoicing, allowing the field technicians and the agents to be able to be in contact, workflow standardization, and most of all, getting rid of the paperwork. And the biggest thing is many companies are managing complex field operations with pen and paper. And a modern field service application enables them to get rid of that and to perform these duties in a much more efficient way. So when we look at the business need of field service, we really see that a number of different industries will benefit from a field service management application. These are really any company that has technicians or others that are in the field performing duties, and the company needs to keep track of that. The customer needs to be aware of the location of the field service agent. And all of these things really come into play in terms of monitoring this within a modern platform. So when we look at industries that benefit from field service management, we're talking about things about fire and life safety, medical device enterprises, IT and communication services, oil and gas companies, facility management companies, industrial equipment enterprises, and construction industry, to name a few. And what field service management does is it drives the digital transformation of the service economy. And what that means is that using a modern platform, the company can unlock internal process efficiencies, which results in more accurate forecasting of the need to have field service technicians, where those technicians would go, their routing, different ways really that makes their day and their work week more efficient. And you can also move more towards predictive maintenance. And we'll talk about that in a little bit, but what we're talking about here is regularly scheduled maintenance runs or even proactive maintenance runs using things like IoT technology. The field service platform will help optimize scheduling, which really empowers employees. And here we're talking about not just schedulers, but also the technicians themselves, because in this case, they're able to be much more efficient in their routing. They're able to handle more calls in a day because efficient routing is used through a different service inside of the field service application. And most of all, what this will do is it will meet and exceed customer expectations. And in that, what we're able to do is to really be able to define how the customer is serviced and meeting their expectations, making sure that the technician is there when they expect them. We've all had that experience of sitting and waiting for a technician to show up large wait times, big blocks of time when we're told they might be there. And all of this with a modern field service application allows this to be handled in a much better way. So field service is really done in a data-driven way. And what this means is that using the data, using the information within a modern cloud-based platform, we can make sure that there's a better customer experience. And this allows not only the customer to be better satisfied, but also the field agent to be involved in a sales process, really to be able to do cross-sell and upsell, because then they have greater access to who the customer is, what the needs have been over time, different things that have been done, different issues that may have come up. And it really gives the field service agent better knowledge of the customer himself, as well as the products and ongoing offers that can be made to that customer. We also have the ability to be proactive. And what we mean there is if the field service agent is going out on a regular basis, they're looking for things. They know what might have been done in the past. They know where there may have been issues in the past. And they can look for those types of things, as well as being able to find areas that need improvement or different engagement to make sure that things are operating better for the customer. And as I mentioned earlier, using connected devices to sense issues. What this means is using IoT sensors inside of different components so that it isn't requiring the customer to say something is broken, or even the field service agent to go out on a routine check to see something is broken. The device itself actually starts to signal that there's issues, allowing a field service technician to go out proactively and solve the problem before it becomes a problem. Now, I'll give you an example of a customer that we did this for in a little bit. Finally, the field service platform allows the scheduler to schedule dynamically. And what this means is that the field service scheduler isn't using a board or an Excel sheet or something like that. They're entering all of this information into the platform, and the platform itself finds the best and most relevant way to route the field service technicians. And this is really calling upon a couple of things, not just the location of the different service calls to make sure that there's an efficient route taken, but also to make sure that the way that the technician is going out, or the technician who is going out, is the right one for a particular job. And what this means is it isn't always necessarily the agent who's closest to the problem. It's the agent who's the most relevant to be able to work with the issue and properly fix it on the first time. So we're really looking to create a high level of efficiencies in using a data-driven software platform. So in field service, there's really three different metrics that we're using to judge how the process works and whether it's been efficient. So the first item is first-time fix rate. We all know what this means. We all experience it when we have someone come to our home or our business to fix something. We want to make sure that the person who comes out is knowledgeable enough on the problem and the equipment or the issue that needs to be addressed so that they're able to fix it the first time and move on, so there isn't a need for return or repeat calls. So it's both making sure that the right person goes out, that they have the right equipment and parts on the truck, and that they are able to go in and make the fix or make the change on the first run. The second part is mean time to service, and this is really a piece of that as well. So what it really means is that we're optimizing the time that the field service agent is at a location, as well as we're optimizing the routing of that agent itself. So we want to be able to make sure that the agent has the ability to take care of the problem. We also want to make sure that we're making the most efficient use of the agent's day in terms of going from location to location, and also to make sure that the agent who goes to a particular location is skilled at the problem and the equipment so that they're able to properly fix it. Going back to the third element that we just talked about, it's also to make sure that the parts and inventory needed for the particular product or service that's being performed are with that agent at all times. And the last one is the mean time to repair, which is really the average time required to repair equipment. And a modern cloud-based application allows the ability to monitor this, to integrate mobile technology, and really to use innovative and emerging technologies to measure and reduce the mean time to repair. So if we look at some statistics on field service, we can see it's a growing industry. In 2021, the field service market size was approximately $5.2 billion. By 2031, it's projected to be about $29.9–30 billion. And you can see some of these numbers on the other side. They're fairly obvious in terms of what the results are. We're still seeing only about 50% of all organizations using field service software, but 96% of those companies that are using it find it to be beneficial. And 80% of the technicians involved with those companies believe that it's helping them increase their productivity. So what we see then is a large market for field service applications going forward, and the companies that are still using manual processes are finding it difficult. And even in today's more complex world, where the customer expectations are getting higher, the need for an automated way to present a field service agent is becoming more and more necessary. So when we look here at the Gartner Magic Quadrant, we can see that Oracle is very highly rated in terms of a leader in the field service management applications. So we focus then on what is Oracle, how does Oracle handle field service management, and then ultimately, how can it help you? So starting with an introduction of Oracle Field Service, it's really an enhanced field service experience. It's cloud-based technology, which has self-learning and predictive technology, and then provides for automated scheduling for the business workflow and tools that are quick and easy to provide reactions. And so what we're doing with this platform is it's looking at the various types of service that are needed, the various types of equipment that are being serviced, and the resources who are available to go out and perform those services, matching all those things up and making sure that the right individual is being sent to the location to perform the service. It also has a great deal of integration with a number of different platforms. So here we're going to look at 8 different components that make up the Oracle Field Service application. First, fleet tracking and routing. What the application does is it always looks for the fastest, most optimized scheduling for the routing of an agent, but it's also looking to make sure that the best available agent is sent to each individual event. So as I mentioned earlier, it isn't always just making sure that the route is the most efficient, but always to make sure that the agent who goes out to perform the service is the right one to perform the service for a particular need. And all of this then really is done in an extremely automated way. And you can always pull resource routing for emergency situations as well. Everything isn't always pre-scheduled. Everything isn't always assigned ahead of time. And sometimes there's an emergency and it's necessary to be able to pull an agent off of their particular route and assign them to an emergency activity. And then all of this really is using AI and a predictive routing engine to make sure that the best result is obtained for tracking and routing. So we hear a lot about a single panel view, and what that really means is that both the agent as well as the schedulers are able to look at a single screen and see all of the different activities, whether it's the activity that a field service agent has in that given day, or it's the activities that are being scheduled by the scheduling team. They're able to look at this and see all this in real time on a single panel view. And all of this then comes up in Gantt charts, map views, or list views. And it's very intuitive when we're looking at the scheduler's side in terms of a drag and drop interface that really helps them to provide the best optimized schedule for the field service agents, as well as the best optimized schedule for the customers as well. It is a highly mobile application, and what that means is that for the field service technicians, it's browser-based mobile app, both in iOS and Android, and it doesn't require a particular device. So any device can access the mobile field service application, and it really gives a look back, and again, the single pane view that I just talked about really provides that to the field service agent as well. So they can see all of the work orders that they have to deal with. They'll see driving directions. They'll see the inventory that they've got available to deal with that day's activities. And there's a collaboration tool that we'll talk about now. And what that collaboration tool means is that field service agents are able to communicate between themselves to talk about any issues that they might encounter while they're on a call or on a service call. And in doing this, what it allows a technician to do is draw upon the experience of their coworkers if they encounter an issue that they're not familiar with or a problem that they haven't seen in the past. And again, using the mobile device, because we're talking about the field service agents who are out in the field, this is really enabling them to use all of the functionality of their mobile device, whether it's chat, whether it's text, whether it's the verbal or voice communication. And they can also use the video on their device to be able to show exactly what they're looking at and get the input from a coworker on how to best solve that problem. We'll also talk about two innovative features that Oracle provides, which is the digital assistant or chatbot to be able to talk to a knowledge base so that the field agent can draw upon previous experience that's within this knowledge base to be able to get access to different documents that could help them solve a problem as well. The application, because it is fully mobile, is always monitoring in real time where the field service agents are. And this is beneficial on both the company side as well as the customer side. On the company side, it allows the service reps to be able to track where the various resources are in the field. The schedulers always know where their resources are, how long they've been at a particular location, where they're going next, et cetera, et cetera. The other part is the customer can benefit from this because the system can send automated notifications to customers, letting them know the status of the technician who's coming to their location, whether they're running on time, early or late. Let them know any different things that might be taking place. And this can be done through text message, through emails, through actual automated phone calls, or through a web interface. And it's really works to improve the customer satisfaction because now the customer knows at all times where the technician is, when they're coming, the different status of it. And it really allows for a much better experience for the company, for the technician, and for the customer. And all of this taken together really allows the company to be able to do much more accurate forecasting. They have a better view of what a technician will be doing on any given day. They're able to understand where to put the right equipment so that the equipment is on the right truck for the services being performed. And ultimately, it allows to start to do some predictive analysis that will help the company understand what types of things are happening on a regular basis. And then they're better able to bring the right resources to bear in scheduling and also hiring and training. So there's another piece that we alluded to, which is knowledge management. What knowledge management is a database sitting in the backside of the application that holds a lot of information about different products, what those products have in terms of parts and pieces, and ultimately really how to fix things so that a field service agent can use the chatbot that I talked about earlier, or to be able to use a direct interface and tap into this knowledge base to be able to enter what they're encountering in terms of the problem that they find in the field, and then get answers back in how to approach the repair or maintenance of that particular product. So very robust application that's part of the field service application, the Oracle Field Service application, that allows for not just the routing and intelligent management of field service assets, but also to help the field service agents when they're in the field to be able to perform their job more efficiently. And the last piece of the Oracle Field Service application is customer data management. And what this allows the company to do is better manage the data that is generated from each of these service calls, so that they have a clear understanding of who the customer is, what products or processes they have that have needed repair or attention, and then allows to really have this as a clean data set so the company understands their customers. They can be much more proactive in terms of dealing with the customers, and ultimately can provide better customer service. So let's talk about a few examples of implementations that we've done at SoftClouds. We've implemented a number of field service applications and solutions in a number of different industries. And what we do in each of these is we really come in and we take a proactive approach in understanding the customer, understanding their business needs, learning about the challenges that they've had in their previous situation, however they were managing to their field service assets, and then coming to them with solutions that will help them in the near term and the long term. We also take the field service application and we can integrate it with different internal systems at the customer's location or the company's location. And these can be Oracle applications or they can be third-party applications. But the idea is really to tie the field service application into other processes being run by the company, so that's an integrated understanding of how field service relates to the overall business itself. So as a first example, we'll talk about a company that is in the business of manufacturing smart water coolers. They've got a very interesting product because it's an IoT integrated device. So it's always sending information back to the company about how it's operating, where there might be some issues. These particular devices have different components to them, so it's not just a water cooler. It provides flavored different kinds of beverages. And so all of these things, to keep running properly, need to be monitored on an ongoing basis. The devices are IoT enabled. They send this information back to the company, and then ultimately not just for regular service, but if there's a particular product or flavor that's running out, the machine signals the company uses the field service application, it sends out a driver to not just look at the device, but also to know that it needs a refill of a particular flavor or component. All of this is done proactively. The company never even knows it's happening in the background. It's just taken care of by the device and the Oracle Field Service platform. So the issue that this company had was they had a hard time managing to multiple service requests, but the biggest thing was in managing this real-time warehouse activity. So they needed a way to have a platform that could help them use the innovative piece of their application and their devices, but also to be able to efficiently manage the customer's expectations and to make sure that their agents and technicians were able to perform properly as well. So what we did is, using the Oracle Field Service application, we enabled automated service requests, and we were able to create work orders for the field technicians to automatically know that they needed to go to a particular customer to perform a particular service. We were able to track inventory and truck services through the application. And this made sure that when there was a truck rolling, it always had the right components with it. It always had the right technicians to be able to perform the service that was necessary. We integrated the Oracle Field Service application between NetSuite, Zendesk, and a number of internal homegrown applications that this company had created. And we were able to improve the collaboration between the technicians as well as the schedulers, so that they were able to use the various tools that I spoke about previously to be able to have much better communication, much better interaction between the parties. And the results were they had a web self-service quoting process. We were able to automate the work order assignments based on skills and locations. We were able to give them far better forecasting of the scheduling and resource needs. We helped them reduce their field tech travel time and repeated trips to job locations, because we were sending the right technician with the right equipment to the location. There was more flexibility in job assignment and field scheduling, so that we were able to give the customers a better experience as well as the field technicians a better experience. And we were gathering a significant amount of data that helped create much better internal reporting, predictability, and ability to use resources, both human as well as products, in a much better way. A second example of a customer that we have implemented a field service application for is one that develops and markets medical devices and software solutions. And as you can well imagine, with medical devices, it's necessary to make sure that the device is always available, operating properly, because when it's needed, it's a very important, critical issue. So what the reason this customer needed field service and digital transformation, they found it very hard to manage multiple service requests. They found it very challenging to manage real-time inventory. They were unable to track where their field service technicians were, and they had a hard time managing and tracking the trucking services as well. So what we did here, using the Oracle Field Service application, we were able to automate the service requests and dispatch field technicians for work orders. We were able to provide a proactive mechanism for field technician safety and compliances. And this is necessary, especially in the medical industry, to make sure that the work performed, the individuals performing the work, are the right ones for the particular product or service that's being managed. We integrated the Oracle field service application with Oracle Fusion ERP, which is a back office financial system. And all of that then provided far better inventory management and truck stock management. We were able to increase collaboration between the technicians using the mobile chat and mobile applications that I talked about previously. And we came up with a custom branding theme for the Where's My Technician component, which is the piece that alerts the customer where their technician is, when they'll be arriving, different things of that nature. So the results here, far better forecasting of scheduling and resources. We reduced significantly the field tech travel time and the revisit need. We were able to have jobs reassigned so that there was field scheduling flexibility. And we had a much better inventory management process and reporting process for the company. So looking at today, let's look at tomorrow for field service. And what we see really is that there'll be an expanding use of field service to be able to become much more of a revenue source. And what that means is the field service technician becomes not just someone going out to perform a service, but someone who's able to go out and proactively talk about new products or services the company can offer that will help the company have a much better experience. And also, we talked about knowledge, and this use of a back-end knowledge base will become much more prevalent in terms of helping the field service technicians solve problems, gain access to a broader base of information, and also really to be able to perform a better service functionality for the customer. And then we get to using things also that help the customer self-service. That could draw upon this knowledge base that we're talking about. It can draw upon other ways of finding information so that the customer doesn't need necessarily to ask for a technician to come out. They can find ways to solve the problem themselves without seeking a technician. And artificial intelligence is a big piece of this also. We talked about the water cooler company that we worked with that has internet-enabled devices. We'll be seeing a lot more of this, where everything from washing machines to cars will have sensors that will start to bring about information on things that are going right, things that are potentially going to go wrong, and helps the device tell either the user or the manufacturer or company that's maintaining that product that there's a need for service, and it can be done proactively as opposed to after something goes wrong. And SoftClouds provides all of these services. So we've done everything from the user interface, the solutioning, the implementation, and training, supporting the company. So full end-to-end solution, as well as integrating this field service solution with other products, both Oracle and third-party. So that's our discussion today about Oracle Field Service. I thank you very much for joining me today. My name is Brian Friedman. I'm the GVP of Sales at SoftClouds. If you have any questions about Oracle Field Service, please feel free to get in contact with me. My phone number and email address are on the slide. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.